willkommen zurück zu Foli, zu Folis Gamehouse. Und zwar zu Blues of Bullets, Part 1, Episode 1, beziehungsweise Part 2, Episode 1. Ich grüße auf jeden Fall schon mal hier die Weedcrew mit dem Crew-Manager, den Jägermeister 093 und seinen Stellvertretenden, den Stoffi 23. Dann grüße ich noch die Butterfly Effect Crew mit ihrer Crewchefin Run and Gun Angel. Und natürlich meinen YouTuber-Freund, den Texas PS4. Schaut mal bei ihm vorbei. Schaut mal seine Clips an. Sind echt mega klasse. Daumen hoch von meiner Seite auf jeden Fall schon mal. Wie ich euch schon auch mitgeteilt habe, wir werden unsere eigene Facebook-Seite eröffnen. Da werden dann Livestreams, da werden dann Let's Plays eingestellt werden. Was da betrifft, so Deathmatches und. Wir werden euch neue Spiele vorstellen, neue Glitches vorstellen, neue DLCs vorstellen, die rauskommen an verschiedenen Games, die uns interessieren. Oder allgemein, wir posten News zu gewissen Genre von Games, die die Mehrheit der meisten interessiert, beziehungsweise die uns auch hauptsächlich interessieren. Wir werden auf jeden Fall noch einen Xbox-Spieler hinzubekommen, der auf der Xbox One unterwegs ist. Der wird natürlich dann auch seine Erfahrungen und seine Streams und Let's Plays einstellen. Ist auch ein bekannter YouTuber von mir, die Verspooner. Und dann werden wir noch Mitte des Jahres, allerspätestens denke ich mal, ein PCler bei uns dazu gekommen. Oder sogar zwei. Da sind wir noch an Verhandlungen mit demjenigen. Wie gesagt, weiteres werde ich auf jeden Fall hier bekannt geben. Und natürlich fett Werbung für die machen, für die Jungs. Und für unsere Seite auf Facebook. Ja, ansonsten wünsche ich auf jeden Fall wieder viel Spaß bei Folis Gamehouse. Mit eurem Foli natürlich. Bei Blues of Bullets. Wie gesagt, ist ein Episodengame. Leicht auf Retro gemacht. Erinnert mich ein bisschen an Sin City. Eine Mischung aus Sin City und Max Payne, falls jemand das mal sagt, dass man mal auf sehr bekannt war auf der PS2. Ansonsten, wie gesagt, viel Spaß wieder dabei. Ich halte mich so großteilig raus. Ich werde natürlich wenig dazu labern. Setzen wir einfach mal die Story fort.
The fact that a criminal like him can hang up his shingle in broad daylight says a lot about Santa Esperanza. The fact that a criminal like him can hang up his shingle in broad daylight says a lot about Santa Esperanza.
Ah, okay. Ist nicht so, dass gewisse Dinge alles schwarz-weiß ist und der Rest so rot unterlegt ist.
Interesting taste. Been centuries since a gardener visited this house. Maybe Boccarini's business isn't going too well.
Da hängt eine amerikanische Flagge. Oh, say, can you see? Na gut, lassen wir das mal lieber. Keine besonders gute Stimme.
The bell doesn't work. I guess Boccarini doesn't get many visitors.
Okay.
Boccarini? Carlo Boccarini?
Nothing of interest out back. Sorry. You better come see this, Mr. Ness.
What is it?
I don't know how to describe it.
Oh, nett. Ich würde mal sagen, der ist ein bisschen aufgehangen.
Is that our man?
Boccarini.
My God.
We have to find out who did this, and why. Let's go.
You're the detective, Mr. Ness. Besides, Alfonso will want to see this. I'll be right back.
All right. I have to establish how Boccarini died. Maybe the body parts can shed some light on the motive.
Da würde ich mal sagen, wir suchen nach Beweisen, ne?
Holy Christ, what the hell are we up against? His teeth were all pulled out before he was killed. The buildup of blood inside his mouth speaks for itself. His eyes were pulled clean out of their sockets. Whoever did this, it wasn't their first time. And if they committed any other murders like this, it's likely that the police found some of the bodies. I must remember to ask Alice. Pity he won't last till Christmas, because he'd almost pass for a tree. There's no doubt the murderer took his time. This isn't a cut, it's a tear. His hands were ripped off. Who has that kind of strength? What's he got stuck in there? Looks like the bottom of a glass. It's Boccarini, no doubt about that. Although the one I remember was more together. Takes a strong man to tear that out. Or several. Blood and some kind of sticky liquid. Jammed shut from the inside. Maybe between the two of us when Milton gets back. Oh, shit. I should have
Nick?
stayed in my diner. his teeth were pulled out, more or less. What is that? Looks like a ritual. What was Boccherini mixed up in? Boccherini's teeth were all pulled out. The murderer tore Boccherini's hands off. Hands ripped off, teeth torn out. I guess I'll have to rule out criminal intent or a personal angle. Boccherini's eyes still haven't shown up. What if I look for whatever was used to remove them? A sick altar of human flesh. A teaspoon stained with blood and some kind of sticky liquid. The mixture of sticky liquid and blood can only mean one thing. The spoon was used to remove Boccherini's eyes.
Das hatte ich als
The
erstes
mutilations
vermutet
or
mit dem
disappearance
Löffel.
of his eyes suggest two possible motives.
Motiv.
Psychopathy or cultist fanaticism. Which is it? What looks like the bottom of a broken glass buried in Boccherini's back.
Okay, das ist nett.
Some kind of symbol drawn in blood. A sick altar of human flesh. Although I don't know the origin of the symbol in the bathroom and the altar of flesh and teeth, I'd say the motive was some kind of occult religion. The big question is, who did it?
Das ist richtig.
This car looks too classy for a forger like Boccherini. Are there sufficient reasons to believe that when the murderer attacked Boccherini, there was someone else in the house? The first possibility to be ruled out is that the car belonged to Boccherini. Let's take a look in the glove compartment.
Ohne Handschuh.
Bingo.
Was hat er als
A
Bingo
man's
gerade
cigarette
gefunden?
case. OB. One of the Boccherini clan? Vermont plates. Someone drove a long way. A car with Vermont plates. The initials OB on a cigarette case. 1, it has Vermont plates. 2, it's too luxurious for a criminal of his standing. 3, the initials on the cigarette case don't match his name. The next possibility that needs to be ruled out is that the car was stolen. There should be evidence that there was someone else in the house. The lamp, torn off its brackets and blocking the stairs. A door in the corridor jammed shut. What looks like the bottom of a broken glass buried in...
Okay, wir müssen noch nach Hinweisen suchen. Warum liegt denn da am Fenster Blut? Guck doch nicht hin, da belegt man. Gut. Schauen wir weiter in die Region.
The blood comes from the other side of the corridor and ends next to the body. He was attacked in the other room and dragged to the hall. The evidence suggests that the events began in the lounge. How did Boccarini encounter his murderer? Whatever crushed the table must have been really heavy, or maybe it was thrown extremely hard. A perfectly circular dint, as if someone had tried to hammer in a gigantic bolt, around 4 inches in diameter.
Isn't it?
Blood ran like water. Fingernails scratched the wood.
Aha.
What kind of person takes off a wristwatch without unfastening it? Or fastens the strap again after taking it off? Did it break during the struggle, or was it already broken? Blood. Blood everywhere. This was opened recently. Glass on the floor indicates the window was broken from outside. There's something under there. How'd it wind up under there? Not one round fired. It must have happened fast. What is it with Italians and olives? They lap those things up like caviar. Like a true bachelor, he should have put these to soak. Hours of scraping to get them clean. Although at this stage, I don't think Boccarini's too worried about that. Four glasses. 2 of water, 2 of wine. I've always been a whiskey man, but I know a good wine when I see one. Leftover lasagna, and it looks good. Why is it that 2 out of 3 Italian gangsters are great cooks? I'll never understand what the deal is with them and cooking. The plates and the glasses leave no room for doubt. Boccarini had company for dinner. One knife's missing, the biggest one. A door in the corridor jammed shut. Dirty plates, glasses, and silverware from a dinner for 2. The dirty dishes and glasses prove that Boccarini ate lasagna with one other person. Was Boccarini's guest still in the house when the murderer showed up? 2 pools of blood, one on either side of the dining room table. The trail of blood from the dining room to the hall. A door in the corridor jammed shut. The lamp. Torn up. What looks like the bottom of a broken glass buried in Boccarini's back. Pieces of glass from the window in the hall found inside the house. The lamp, torn off its brackets. A door in the corridor jammed. The trail of blood from the dining room. An open bottle of whiskey. A pistol, fully loaded. I'd say Boccarini was drinking in the dining room when his assailant burst in through the window. Boccarini pulled his gun, but the murderer disarmed him before he could shoot. Where did the torture begin? A blood-stained wristwatch with a glass broken and the strap fastened. 2 pools of blood, one on either side of the dining room table. A broken table, scratched and covered in blood. The bloodstains show that the murderer began to torture Boccarini on the dining table itself. That was where his hands were torn off. As a result, his wristwatch fell to the ground. How did the body reach its current position? The trail of blood from the dining room to the hall. The lamp, torn off its brackets and blocking the stairs. Boccarini, already minus hands,
Übung
was
macht
dragged
Meister,
into the
langsam
hall,
habe ich's raus.
where the murderer used the brackets of the lamp to complete his macabre diorama.
Tja, langsam habe ich's raus.
A door in the corridor jammed shut.
Ich glaube, ich muss noch ein bisschen Hinweise so.
Shut from the inside. It opens onto the same room as the jammed door in the corridor. A door in the kitchen, locked. A door in the corridor jammed. It opens onto the same room as the locked door in the kitchen. Was Boccarini's guest still in the house when the... A door in the kitchen, locked. A door in the corridor, jammed shut. It opens onto...
Irgendwas habe ich noch gesehen. Ich weiß. Irgendwas fehlt. Irgendwas muss ich übersehen haben. Ich weiß noch nicht was.
Smells of whiskey. A broken whiskey glass found in the dining room. It seems clear that Boccherini and his guest were drinking when the murderer took them by surprise. The real question is, what happened to the witness? Did they escape? Did the murderer take them? Or are they still in the house? A door in the kitchen, locked from the inside. It opens onto the same room. A door in the corridor, jammed shut. It opens onto the... One locked door could be a coincidence, but two locked doors which open onto the same room can't be. Either I'm completely wrong, or the witness is in that room. But I need Milton to open one of those doors.
Mr. Ness, can you open the door for me?
It was open. Why did you ring?
I thought I should use the doorbell so I wouldn't startle you.
When I came in, I pressed the doorbell and it didn't work.
Well, in light of the facts, I deduced that it was your finger that wasn't working. So, what can you tell me to restore my faith in you as a detective?
What is that?
Not a good start. It's a camera, so Alphonse can see all this.
All right. Follow me. Boccherini had company for dinner. Someone from Vermont with the initials OB. Someone whose social status was a lot higher, but who was on the same side of the law. He served lasagna, and after clearing away the dishes, they opened a bottle of whiskey in the dining room. That was when the murderer burst in on them, coming through the window which he broke with his own body weight. Boccherini, or maybe his guest, pulled a gun, but it was a waste of time. The murderer was so fast he was disarmed before he could fire. He focused his attention on Boccherini, totally ignoring the guest, and lifted him up into the air. He then threw him against the dining room table so hard that one of the glasses of whiskey was embedded in Boccherini's back. He span around, clawing at the table, and immediately afterwards the murderer ripped off his hands. I have no idea how he did it, but all the evidence suggests he just pulled. Blood sprayed everywhere. The wristwatch fell to the ground. He dragged him through the corridor into the hall. He tore down the lamp, hung him from the brackets, and stabbed steel rods through his body. He skewered him on the iron bars, possibly taken from the fence outside, and pulled out his teeth one by one. Finally, he scooped out his eyes with a teaspoon. Boccherini must have been dead when the murderer went to the bathroom with his hands in his teeth. There, he arranged them to make an altar, weaving the fingers together and placing the teeth inside. Next, he painted something on the wall in blood, a symbol which I don't recognize, but which could have some kind of ritualistic significance. When he'd finished his artwork, he left. I don't know what he did with the eyes.
You're telling me that someone did all this armed with a teaspoon?
More or less.
And you worked all this out on your own, just by looking?
More or less.
I don't know which of the two of you scares me more. Wait a second. What about the guest?
Right. Come with me. Nothing.
Turns out Mr. Untouchable isn't infallible. But you were close. Congratulations.
This must be Boccarini's office. Let's take a quick look around.
All yours.
The driver's license of one John Martinson and Osmond Burke. O.B.
Do we know him?
The eldest son of the richest family in Vermont, convicted rapist. He was arrested thanks to the testimony of his father, who wound up disinheriting him. He escaped from prison last week. He broke into the family home and slit the throats of all his relatives one by one, opened the safe, and got away with a fortune.
They don't make jails like they used to.
Da verhandelt man halt eben nur in den besten Kreisen, wie ich gerade merke.
Carlo, I have the goods for O.B., but I have to take the children to school tomorrow and I can't make the meetup. Friday, same time, same place. It's signed N.I.
These initials are getting to be a pain in the ass, right?
I have to take the kids to school tomorrow. I don't think this is some loving divorced daddy, Milton.
I take back what I just said.
Jesus, there's at least $1 million here.
Boccarini's?
I'd be surprised. Probably his guests, and I doubt it was to pay Boccarini for his services. None of his forgeries are worth that much.
All starting to add up, isn't it?
Out of my way! Now! Now!
Milton! Milton!
You're doing fine on your own, Mr. Ness. I believe in you.
Get out of my way, I said! He's coming back!
Who's coming back?
Him! The monster!
The guy who killed Boccarini?
He was a monster! Oh, get your hands off me, Negro!
What was he like? Describe him for me.
It was a monster. Red and black. I mean, his head reached the ceiling. He tore off his hands with his claws! It was a monster! A monster!
Should I hit him again?
Burke, shut up. You're Osmond Burke, right?
Yes.
Good. Now pay attention, Burke, because I have a question for you. Who is John Martinson?
I am.
Boccarini created a new identity for you. And I'll bet that under those bandages there's a new face, fresh
Das
from
hatte ich mir
surgery.
gedacht, dass er neue Identität hervorholt.
Who is this money for?
Nikolai Ivankov.
Rings a bell.
One of Capone's right-hand men 20 years ago. What does this stuff about kids mean?
I don't know.
Calm down, Burke. You were going to meet up with him, right?
Yes, at the docks, berth 42, right next to where the Alligator 3 is moored.
So what's the meetup time?
Tomorrow at noon. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? No, it's going to be tonight. Don't get too comfortable. We'll be there in no time. There are certain types of people I don't allow in my diner. But today, I have no choice but to make an exception.
I'm afraid not, Mr. Ness. I have to take him to Alphonse.
Out of the question. I know his temper. He'll beat him to a pulp.
Listen, if the missing girl was your granddaughter, you wouldn't forgive me if I didn't let you see the only suspect who could lead us to her.
Okay.
Shucks.
What?
I thought that bloodbath would cover up the smell of stale grease. I was wrong.
Elliot?
Ah, Delphine.
Oh, thank God you're here. The lights were off, so I thought that... I'm sorry. I got out of the hospital late, then I went to the station to pick up Jim's check, and when they told me... I'm scared.
Of what?
What are you drinking?
Drop of whiskey. Just a drop.
Breathe on me. You heard me. You idiot. You frightened me just when... No. You knew.
Knew about what?
What's that gun doing there?
The guy I know is having trouble with a two-bit mafioso. He asked me to go with him, just in case. I didn't have to get it out.
Well, don't. Don't start taking on the Mafia. Not now. You really don't know?
No, I don't know. And if you keep up the guessing games, I'll never know.
He's back.
Who?
Him. I don't know why it still surprises me, but it's incredible that you were such a good detective, and yet you've never been able to understand people. Capone got out of jail.
Where'd you hear that?
Chief Jenkins.
Chief Jenkins. The same guy who said he was going to clean up Santa Esperanza, right? In that case, you can rest assured Capone just put on his striped pajamas, and in 4 minutes' time, he'll be snoring in his cell.
Elliot, what if it's true? If he's out, what's the first thing he's going to do? Who does he hate more than anyone?
Let him come. He'll find the fastest waiter in Santa Esperanza. Before he can pull his gun, I'll have him dead drunk.
Please, Elliot, don't joke. You're the only part of Jim's life that I have left. If you put yourself in danger, Please, no. But thanks.
One of my customers. He's a boxer and we got to throwing some punches, for old time's sake.
What's going on, Elliot? We're closed.
Can you wait outside for a couple of minutes, Milton?
Sure, of course. Although, I'm sorry to say, but we're short on time.
Elliot.
I said a couple of minutes, Milton.
It's all right. Goodbye, Elliot. You can use that couple of minutes to teach this gentleman some manners.
No, and it's none of your business.
Sorry to butt in. I brought your rapist costume for the party. Seriously, you're not...
No, she's the wife of a friend who died in the line of duty, Jim Dockers.
Alphonse told me about him.
Your Alphonse killed him.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Ness. Although he's not the same man he was. Anyway, isn't the deal with marriage until death do us part?
It's not that simple. There are other factors. Delphine and I have been friends a long time, and I don't have many friends. I can't risk losing her.
Right. So you like her, but you don't have the nerve.
Oh, yeah? What would you do?
Women have never been one of my priorities.
I'm sorry.
Forget it. Shit. You screwed Alphonse good, didn't you?
I don't think he holds it against me this far down the line. He's a new man now, right?
Did you enjoy it?
I'm a cop. Correction, I was a cop. You do the job you're given. End of story.
I hear you. But you didn't finish the next job they gave you. Did they find those kids?
No. How do I look?
Like the Invisible Man in the movie. No one's gonna buy it.
Take it easy. Everything's going to work out fine.
You sure it's here?
Relax. It's just a little further. Just follow me.
This plan is suicidal. We're gonna die.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. And may I ask why?
It's not the first time I've done a job like this, and I never was any good at getting killed.
There's a first time for everything, my friend.
Milton, if you go on contradicting me, you're not going to get into your role. Don't forget, while we're here, you're supposed to be at my beck and call.
While we're here.
So, das soll es auf jeden Fall mal gewesen sein von eurem Foley. Von Foleys Gamerhaus zur Bullet. Blues of Bullet Part 2. Wie gesagt, ich hoffe, der Clip hat euch wieder gefallen. Lasst einfach eure Daumen da. Oder Kommentare da. Würde mich natürlich freuen drüber. So dass ich euch die Story ein bisschen näher gebracht habe. Ja, ich bin jetzt erstmal wieder raus. Wünsche euch viel Spaß beim Nachzocken. Und ansonsten ansonsten sehen wir uns auf jeden Fall wieder bei Bullet of Truth Part 3. Und ja, bis demnächst. Ciao, sagt euer Foley.